Well, tonight on The Edge, a tragic update to a story that you saw breaking at 10 p.m. newscast. We have just learned that the Oakland County Marine Division has found the body of a missing boater on Sylvan Lake. We are told that he was found about 200 feet from the shore. Rescue crews were called to the lake this evening when someone spotted an unoccupied boat moving on the water. We're told the victim was a man in his 80s. Our condolences go to his family. Also tonight, we are learning new details about a woman who was held against her will for 6 months in Clinton Township.
She spent half a year in a closet, and then she made a bold move to break free.
This is bizarre.
A sick and twisted tale, a woman locked in a closet for 6 months.
That's how animals are treated. They're put in pens, but they're not tortured. That's the difference. In fact, this is worse treatment than an animal.
Macomb County prosecutor Peter Lucido has seen a lot, but this is bad.
It's up there. It ranks top 10.
It started with an unpaid drug debt, allegedly, to 34-year-old Darren Dawson, who lives at this Clinton Township apartment complex at 19 Mile and Romeo Plank. His customer turned captive, a 58-year-old woman allegedly locking her in his closet last November to April, 6 months.
How long would this have gone on if she didn't get the chance to get away?
While she was there, Dawson allegedly stole her Social Security money and food stamps. Prosecutor Lucido keeping specifics of the torture she endured quiet for now, but says there was an opportunity when she was alone to get away, and she took it, ending up at nearby Henry Ford Macomb Hospital. Her captor, Dawson, charged this week with torture, unlawful imprisonment, and larceny.
These aren't these willy-nilly little crimes. This is serious, major league, which have no place in Macomb County.
The poor woman who survived this unimaginable experience will have to face Dawson in court.
I know that, she's relieved. But as far as her physical, mental, emotional, only time is going to tell whether or not she's going to get through this.
Now, Prosecutor Lucido says the case is still open and more charges could be filed against Dawson. Tough story.
It is.
Also tonight, another horrific case of cruelty that unfortunately we have to tell you about tonight.
So today, the Oakland County Prosecutor's Office charged the parents of a 6-year-old boy with his murder. According to investigators, Giovanni Shulo Jennings of Madison Heights was severely abused and beaten on a regular basis. He was even bound to a wall with a staple gun. Last month, he stopped breathing. Investigators say that his parents, 25-year-old Elena Jennings and 32-year-old Daniel Giacchina, conspired to try and place the blame on someone else.
He was beaten. He was bound to the wall by using a staple gun to his close to the wall, which forced his face into a corner.
And both parents face first-degree murder charges, which carries a life sentence if convicted. A major decision today in one of the area's most high-profile murder cases.
A judge ruled Michael Jackson Bolanos will not stand trial for a second time for the death of Jewish leader Samantha Woll.
I am going to have to dismiss as to both the felony murder and the home invasion first degree.
The right decision was made as far as not to retry him with felony murder and the home invasion, because that's Supreme Court law, so the judge's hands were tied as far as that.
We're still looking for justice. We are absolutely convinced overwhelming evidence points to him as the murderer.
Jackson Bolanos was found not guilty of first and second degree murder by a jury last month. They were deadlocked on felony murder and home invasion. Prosecutors say they will appeal today's ruling, but it will be a challenge. Meanwhile, Jackson Bolanos was sentenced for his conviction of lying to police. The judge gave him 15 months to 18 years in prison. His attorney calls the punishment disproportionate to the crime, and he plans to appeal.
Very stupid, very ignorant, makes a phone call and makes a false police run, which is criminal.
Retired law enforcement expert Steve Dolan is talking about swatters targeting U.S. Senate candidates. Both Democrat Alyssa Slotkin and Republican Mike Rogers were targeted by pranksters. Swatting is when someone reports a fake crime to police. The first call was sent to Slotkin's Oakland County home Thursday. She wasn't there at the time. Today, Rogers was the target of a swatting attempt at his residence in Livingston County. Both incidents were declared false threats. Swatting investigations are increasing across the country, putting a strain on law enforcement resources.
Coming up tonight on The Pulse, we'll take a closer look at those swatting calls, wrap up a busy week on the campaign trail, hit the streets and talk to the hand, and take a deep dive into disturbing allegations of stolen valor. That's all at 11:30, right after The Edge.
We have some bad news tonight for Stellantis workers. Tonight, we have learned that another round of layoffs may be coming.
This one impacts the Warren truck plant where the Ram 1500 is made. Fox 2's Dave Kinchin has reaction from workers and the UAW.
11 years, a lot of memories?
A lot of work. So, yeah, a lot of memories.
Fox 2 told Stellantis Warren truck worker Nate Bonds about changes at his plant that will mean the loss of about 2,400 jobs as the automaker drops production of the Ram 1500 Classic, bringing the plant down from 2 shifts to 1. We're talking 2,450 jobs approximately. The layoffs set to start in early October.
God always has my back. Yeah. So, you know, if these people lay me off, I'm pretty sure that I will be okay. I just hope everybody else be okay.
Stellantis says the cuts are part of a change in focus on its new version of the Ram 1500 Tradesman, which will now be made at the Sterling Heights assembly plant. But the UAW is blasting the move. Union President Shawn Fain fuming in a statement that reads in part, Stellantis CEO Carlos Tavares is a disgrace and an embarrassment to a once great American company. While GM and Ford report fantastic profits and increased sales, Stellantis is going backwards. Meanwhile, Tavares jacked up his own pay by 56% while laying off thousands of auto workers. The American taxpayer has invested in Stellantis. Workers have invested in Stellantis. Consumers have invested in Stellantis. It's time for Stellantis to invest in us.
I think this is running a good business and matching your output to the market. And again, they went to a new generation truck. So you've got to look at the older generation to say, is there really demand for this and is there a place for it? And, you know, apparently the answer for Stellantis is no.
Alan Amici is president of the Center for Automotive Research and says the changes go along with the wide-ranging series of adjustments in the Detroit 3, with the automakers realizing EV sales are growing at a slower rate than expected, prompting them to introduce more hybrids to bridge the gap.
Now, for General Motors, they didn't have any hybrids in the market, so they're bringing hybrids in, and we should be hearing something about that fairly soon. Ford Motor Company had hybrids, and Stellantis has hybrids in the market. So that's another instance of a company looking at the market and seeing what, you know, where the demand is and then adjusting their portfolio.
Stellantis says they will continue to have production there at that plant focused on the Jeep Wagoneer and Grand Wagoneer, and that will remain at 2 shifts. Dave Kinchin on The Edge.
We have a beautiful stretch of weather heading into the weekend, thank goodness.
Yeah, it's going to be, I feel a bit breezy tomorrow. I mean, you can't really complain about that, right, Stephanie? You got to look at a forecast?
Yeah, I think overall we have a nice forecast. Might be a little breezy tomorrow. There could be a stray shower chance for both days, but I do think we see a lot of dry time and very comfy temperatures both tomorrow and then heading into Sunday. Right now, live look over Detroit looks great. It is quiet, it's clear, and our temperatures are starting to cool. It's actually feeling comfortable and refreshing almost for a lot of spots. 150 on the map here up near Sheboygan at 57. Otherwise, we're at 65 in Detroit, 66 in Toledo, low 60s in Hillsdale. So temperatures are cooling off nicely with the clear skies. We do have a few showers again up near northern parts of the state, moving into parts of Alpena, just outside of Cadillac and over Traverse City right now. 57 degrees with a mostly clear sky, little cool tonight. And then early tomorrow, we see a nice rebound. Temps will top out middle 70s, 75 cooler day. Temperatures, again, should be closer to the 82-degree mark, so we're nowhere near that tomorrow, but overall 75 degrees. You can't argue with that. We'll see a partly to mostly cloudy sky at times. There is that potential for seeing a stray shower chance during the afternoon. Note here as this area of low pressure tracks just north of us, areas north, especially up near parts of Traverse City, Mackinac City. So, again, if you have plans that take you up north, it's a little different than what we'll experience here in southeast Michigan. You have a better chance of picking up on those stray showers. For us here, that isolated shower shower chance takes us through late Saturday and then potentially late Sunday as well. But more dry time than not, heading through the next 48 hours. Temperatures through the day tomorrow warming into the 70s by noon. We should be in the mid-70s by 4 or 5 o'clock tomorrow. 75 degrees Saturday. By Sunday, we should be in the upper 70s with that too. We have low humidity, which is great. So not feeling sticky or uncomfortable. We remain in the upper 40s to near 50s, so in this comfy zone here, well, even into the first half of next week. Precip chances minimal this weekend. Doesn't really begin to crank up until possibly next week with that too. We're looking at increasing temperatures as well. Early Tuesday at best, an isolated shower. We'll see this cooler air scoot towards the east. Warmer air does begin to move in. Nothing hot, nothing oppressively humid like what we saw last week, but we do finally see the 80s return. 80 degrees Wednesday, Thursday into Friday with mid-80s, possibly as we look towards the early part of next weekend. And we can officially at least look at those warmer temperatures by the end of next week.
It's the time of year. The official Woodward Dream Cruise is 1 week from tomorrow, but the celebration of all things cars will start this weekend in Pontiac. Motor Trend's Roadkill Nights event is back and bigger than ever. This is the first time ever the M1 Concourse will host the drag racing competition on its property. There will also be legal street racing. Tickets start at $25.